Hey, what's up? Kyle Russ here. I've been getting a ton of questions about these pre-serve power drinks that I'm always talking about. So I want to do a little more of an in-depth explanation about what they are and how I use them and the benefits of them. So number one is the smart use of caffeine. Drinking coffee can really elevate your heart rate, and if you're taking a stimulant when the waves are big, you're holding your breath longer. Having a high heart rate actually negatively affects your ability to hold your breath. As well, it triggers that fight or flight response, can incite the release of adrenaline and anxiety and things like that. So that's not good when you're in a situation where you're really pushing yourself as far as your breath goes. So to compensate for that, I use a lighter, I used to use green tea, but I've been switching to yerba mate, which I like a lot. It's still a green tea, but it has a bit of a higher caffeine level. Super important thing here is to blend it, not just mix it, but to blend it with fat. So whether it be butter or heavy cream. So that'll do a couple of things. One, it will make the caffeine bond to the fat, so it'll slow release it, and then it'll slowly release it over time, so you don't spike as much. But then also, if you are on a ketogenic diet or a low carb diet, that fat will become fuel. Another bonus tip: if you want to mix it with MCT oil, that is it's coconut oil that's spin in a centrifuge and it separates. So it's oversimplification is it's the best part of the coconut oil. Anyways, MCT oil doesn't need to be processed by stomach acid in order to convert into ketones. So if you're in a ketogenic diet, you don't have to use that same digestive process to extract fat. It just becomes fuel right away. So that's like a triple afterburner. So if you have if you have the MCT oil, that becomes fuel almost right away. Then if you have the fat, that will be converted into ketones later, so that's like a medium level fuel. And then you have the caffeine that's blended with the fat that extends it over time, so it's like 3 levels of fuel that'll fuel you for a long time. So that triple threat is a really great one. The next one is the baking soda mixed with water. When I first heard about this, I was reading about a study. They weren't Olympic swimmers. I guess they were college swimmers. Somewhere in the UK. Anyways, they were competitive swimmers, and they were taking baking soda mixed with water to improve their endurance. And so there's a lot of conflicting studies about this. So if you do Google it and Google the benefits, you'll find tons of studies that say it doesn't work and tons of studies that say it does. So the conclusion I come to is everyone's just different. It works different for different people. But there's another study you can easily find if you Google it where they showed that taking baking soda will actually improve your breath hold time, so you can hold your breath longer. So that's super interesting. So I've been doing this for a while. You want to start with a small amount. If you do too much, you can get an upset stomach. I recently read a story a couple weeks ago. I can't remember where I read it. It was another athlete who was at the college level, and he does the hurdles, like the sprinting and jumping the hurdles. And he was taking this, and he was saying he was shaving hundredths of a second of his time. So at that top level, that means the difference between like last place and first place. So he was, and he was doing the best in the country in the United States at the time. But he was saying he was taking so much that sometimes he would shit his pants. But he said it was worth it in order to win those races and get those tiny incremental gains. So I warn you, start light. So I recommend only a teaspoon mixed with water. So it's super simple. And then see, there's just a tiny amount there. This is bigger than a teaspoon, so I'm taking a half. And then you want to take it 1 hour before you go into surf, and then you just mix it with water, and it tastes pretty awful, but it's not that bad. So 1 hour before you surf, I just slam it. The idea behind that is that muscular fatigue comes from lactic acid accumulating in your muscles, and that's why your muscles burn, and this neutralizes that because it balances the pH level in your blood. Makes sense to me, and the only way to know for sure is to try it yourself. So the last thing I want to say is that, especially when it comes to performance and fitness and nutrition, there is so much conflicting information out there. You can find super compelling evidence that it doesn't work and super compelling evidence that it does work. It depends where you look, so you never know what to do. The only way to know for sure is to try it yourself. So I recommend start small, try the caffeine, the triple threat, try the baking soda 1 teaspoon 1 hour before surfing, and see how your results are approved or not. And then if they do, keep doing more of it. My name is Kyle Russ. This is the Pre-Surf Power Drink. Thanks for watching.